this is what I love about Mary Jo. Not everyone can go out and solve the crimes, but you can look at a Mary Jo and see her anywhere.
Welcome to NCIS Partners Probies. I am Diona Reasonover.
And I am Brian Dietzen. Today we have an amazing episode, a wonderful interview with, I think, one of our favorite people here. Yeah. We have Tyla Abercrumbie from NCIS Origins, and we get to talk about a lot of things, about creative process. We get to talk about the theater.
We talk a lot about the theater. You see those theater kids inside of us come out.
Yeah, we got 3 theater kids here geeking out over the history of her play coming out of Chicago. Also her history working on The Chi, then coming into NCIS Origins. And of course, like, what is the genesis of Mary Jo on that show?
Yes.
She's just a great person to talk to.
She's so good to talk to.
She really is. Like, talking about the struggle of throughout history when it comes to her show Relentless, comparing the 1919 to 2019. I mean, you'll hear all about it, but it was just a fun hang.
Yeah, she was. She's basically my cousin. I've decided she's my cousin. I don't know. Is she related to you?
I think maybe a second cousin.
Oh,
for
nice.
Sure. No, I'm not kidding. No, she's a first cousin.
First cousin.
She's a first cousin. We and not to spoil too much, but Tyla does get Diona to snort in this episode. So if you're looking forward to that, and I know many of you have been, you'll want to watch the entire thing. Please stay tuned for Tyla Abercrumbie.
Many? Tyla,
Yeah.
we're so excited to have you here.
Thanks for coming.
I'm excited to be here. We had to work to make it happen, but it's happening.
Do you think there's, before we get into the actual interview, do you think that there's any way that we can actually do a scene together?
Wouldn't that be good?
Yes.
No, she means like right now. If we could work these chairs in some way. What play do you guys both really know?
Oh.
You both know Raising the Sun.
Okay, ready? Oh, on the count of 3, we'll say the play that we both know.
Oh, we
ready?
both know this.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Piano lesson.
Not what I was going to say. I was going to say Shrek the musical.
Oh, see?
That's my favorite. I was going to be Shrek and you were going to be Fiona.
And I know nothing about that.
I
So
don't
we
either.
would have had one of those moments where I made up the line. I'm a great improver, though.
Yeah, but let's try it again. Let's try it again with one more play. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Raising the
Little
Sun.
Shop of Horrors. Okay.
See.
A little
I think,
different.
like, you know
I
what?
fell for that. I fell for that. That's what's sad right now.
Scene. There we go.
Scene.
Done.
We were talking about Piano Lesson and Raising in the Sun and all those wonderful things because you're a theatrical. We were talking about Piano Lesson and Raising in the Sun.
You think they're going to cut that out?
Because I know they're not going to. I know. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I should just honestly say I'm not a theater actor anymore.
I'm a theatral.
Theatral.
You're
a theatral.
Shakespeare made up words, right?
Yes.
Why can't
Why
you?
can't I? And why can't we?
We're still using those words today. So go ahead.
Do you feel like you got your start in the theater, or was it, kind of like a totally different animal for you?
No, I definitely got my start in the theater.
Okay.
I feel that beast all the time, and I love it.
Yeah.
I might sometimes have to get out of my theater brain sometimes.
What does that mean?
Well, in theater, your critical analysis of character is so important.
Yeah.
So you know everything about your character.
Yeah.
At least this is how I learned theater from the people I admired. And so I know my character's favorite color. I know everything. And then I fight for that character.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me something about her that I don't know. But in television, sure they can. Sure they can. You know what I mean? Because in theater, you learn the whole script and then you forget it, but you do know the whole script.
Right.
Yeah.
With television, you're getting a new episode and you find out, in Mary Jo's case, I've got 4 deceased children. Oh, okay. Didn't know I had that.
Right.
Didn't put that in my backstory for myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So you have to come out of your theater brain because you don't have that control. You have to be flexible.
So speaking of theater, I read that your play Relentless debuted in 2022, so 4 years ago, in Chicago's Goodman Theater. Can you tell us just a little bit about the play itself, just for people who haven't seen it? And yes, we'd love to get a little backstory on this.
Relentless was born just out of my heart of my favorite era, which is the Victorian era. And I fell in love with that because I love the Harlem Renaissance. In literature, that is literally my favorite time, the Harlem Renaissance. And so I always wanted to know what those characters did, what people did before. And that's how I got into the Victorian era. So Relentless is about 1919 Black Victorians. And what I was doing was a 100-year look at our lives. So I wrote a play steeped in 1919 to mirror 2019. And we had a lot going on at that time that really mirrored everything in 1919. So you have these two sisters who come together in Philadelphia to let go of their mother's home. She's recently passed away from influenza, and of course we had the pandemic. And they, in going through her journals, they travel backward into a place where they hadn't thought of what their mother had lived through to be the woman she was in Philadelphia, taking care of her community and always presenting herself as this very sophisticated woman. And they grew up very wealthy, very affluent. And so that journey back into her past taught them so much about themselves. And so you, at the same time, have these affluent Black Victorians. One gentleman makes wine. Another gentleman is a doctor. One lady is a nurse, which sounds like no big deal now because everybody's doing it. But in 1919, that was very rare. And they come together to do what we don't do anymore, which is talk about the plight of your people. And so it was character driven, and it ended with this wonderful moment of the unrest that happened in 1919, which is still one of the greatest riots that have ever happened, Red Summer, which took place in Chicago. And that's boiling underneath this whole play. It's starting, which was happening in 2019 as well. You had what was going on in Missouri that kind of even snowballed into what we experienced up until George Floyd's murder.
In 2020,
so that is kind of, we were dealing with prohibition in 1919 and the legalization of marijuana in many states here. We were dealing with the Me Too movement in 2020 and the suffragette movement in 1919. And you had the same thing happening. You had these Black women who were very instrumental in the suffragette movement, but you didn't really hear about them very much. Well, in 2020, we know that the Me Too movement was started with a Black woman, but you didn't really hear about Black women in that at that time. So it mirrored a lot of what we were going through. And what I ask is, did our parents think that we'd be in a fist fight 100 years later for the same rights, you know? And so it was a beautiful piece. It was done so well. And I can't wait to remount it. It will be remounted and you will be invited.
Is this something that you're thinking of remounting here in LA?
Absolutely.
Is that what we were talking about earlier?
I want to remount it in LA. When we finished it, I did have conversations with Broadway producers who were looking at it and were very interested. And I felt that Relentless would do really well first in London. And I say that because oftentimes we look at our stories as that is a Black story. But they look at it, that is an American story. That's a part of American history. Right? And so I thought it would take the voices there would listen to it and see it from that perspective and not see Black people being Victorian. You know what I mean? Because they're in these wonderful clothes and it's 1919 and but it flashes back. And so you see the beautiful costumes, which I said to you all before that. I love that whole era and style. And the actors were so fantastic. I feel like the ancestors took over my whole body to create that work. It was that moving, you know.
Well, this is so beautiful, but it's also so interesting to me because obviously we're talking about, 100 years difference, but I just see so many ways that things have changed just between when you first wrote that and now. Do you see parallels between, I know it's a much shorter time, but between then and now? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. In fact, it's a mirror image of what the progression we thought we were creating today it's the same fight.
Right.
It's the same fight where the movement for women still started to get pushed back.
Yes.
The idea of legalizing marijuana, and people are still now saying that they don't want that in some states. Some states still don't even have the legalization of marijuana.
Right.
And our political system is saying this is still calling that a gateway drug.
Yeah.
You still have the unrest turning into this idea that there's going to be a civil war, right? On our own land, because we're so broken, right? As a collective, and I say collective because as human beings in America, we are just broken, and it's so hostile. And the same thing happened at that period as well. Before you got to when people started, the Harlem Renaissance brought in a lot of change because Black people started using art as part of how they would tell their stories, and people became interested in that art. And you had the Zora Neale Hurstons and the Alan Locke and the, you know what I'm saying? And so you see that same thing happening.
Right.
And it feels like now it's just more angry. It's taking the history and saying that was all wrong.
Right. Yes.
Whereas then I think there was a voice that was fighting the idea that it was wrong for equal rights and women. They were fighting, but there was a group, a large enough group that saw that progression was necessary.
Yeah. And
I don't know that we have that right now. Right now it seems very split.
And disparate.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting when there's sort of one specific thing to sort of rally against versus like right now we got a lot of things we could have a rally for.
A lot of movements, a lot of moments.
Yeah, a lot of I mean, yeah. I want to talk because I think it's so interesting that your play is called Relentless. And I think you are such a relentless actor, and I think Mary Jo is such a relentless character. Do you feel in any way, what connections do you feel to Mary Jo?
Well, this is what I love about Mary Jo. Not everyone can be an agent, right? And go out and solve the crimes, right? Not everyone could be that. Not just as an actor, but in real life.
Yes.
Not everyone can be that.
Yes.
But you can look at a Mary Jo and see her anywhere, in an office, in your job, as someone's mother, as someone's daughter or sister or friend, or you can just see yourself as Mary Jo. And that's what I love about her, because she's so relatable. She's trying to do a good job. She's in charge of what she's in charge of, and she takes it seriously. She enjoys her work, and it defines her to a degree. And so I love playing that type of a character because she's so relatable. And that makes it feel like people, no matter what, they're like, okay, I love watching Gibbs solve a crime.
Right.
And Caleb and Franks and all of these, I call him by his name and them by their character name. But you know what I mean?
Caleb stands out, let's be honest.
The agents, they go into these really cool places and do these really good things. But Mary Jo is keeping it all together.
Yeah.
And I think of myself as I relate to her as that kind of a person, that I feel very relatable. And even though I'm in an industry that some people might say, or we're in an industry that some people might find like, how did you maintain it? How did you stay with it? I still feel very much like any hardworking individual trying to climb the ladder of work. That's all I'm doing all the time, you know?
And how do you think that has changed, considering the time period it's set in 1991, right? How would Mary Jo operate set in 2025, 2026? You know, I mean, what is that 30-year difference? And I mean, considering, Relentless is about 100-year difference, and we're talking about a 30-year difference between, say, where the mothership is at right now and Origins is at. How do you see Mary Jo operating in say today's world? Would she have different opportunities than she had back then? All that sort of thing. Like, have you thought about just kind of that time travel and how that plays into it?
Absolutely. Like I said, as a theater actor, you can't help but think of all of that, you know? Yes. Would she have more opportunity? Absolutely. And she would push for more opportunity. Whereas I feel Mary Jo is in a world in 91 and 92 where the glass ceiling is very real.
And she's right up against
it.
Yeah.
And she's not an agent. Yeah. So what's next at that job? I also, and we've been delicate in it. We've had a couple characters that may have given her some, issue or feedback. But I think that she would come up against that a lot.
Sure.
The challenge of who she is and the fact that she's trying to run something, you know, because especially in 92, you're just a woman, do a woman's work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas today, someone may think that, but they wouldn't dare say it, you know?
Yes, that's true.
And those that do say it are usually a part of this kind of hostile environment that we were talking about a little while ago. But I think that we know now that we have powerful women in running things, and we have women who are executives and sitting up there where Wheeler sits right now, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely think it would be different.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because of the trailblazers of, you know, even
of Mary Jo's.
Yeah,
Mary Jo's
fictional, but still, you
yes.
know, a trailblazer like Mary Jo. Exactly.
Oh, I absolutely believe that. I think that if those women weren't in those jobs, just like every door that opens someone, you're standing on someone's shoulders. And if you don't realize that, then, you know, that's sad for you. But I feel that there isn't a space that we're in anywhere as a Black woman. You know, there was a time that I wouldn't have been on a Paramount lot. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been a series regular on a CBS show.
Wow.
And now that's happening. I'm standing on someone's shoulders. And so Mary Jo, that happens in office, that happened in the office, in the corporate world, in every aspect of life, that you're standing on someone's shoulders. So I applaud people like Mary Jo.
Yeah.
And even when you think of say the domestics of our world, those people did those jobs so that you could do a different job.
Yes.
You know, that you could go to school, or you could do so yeah, absolutely. Mary Jo she opened the door for many of women that came back after her, you know.
You talked a little bit about Gibbs, who's played by Austin Stoll in your show, and Caleb. I'm just curious how you sort of relate to your NCIS Origins family, because I got to tell you, from immediately meeting a wonderful people.
It's a great crew.
Such a great cast, such a great crew. And you guys all just seem to gel like almost immediately.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When you show up to work not knowing anybody, and the day you leave work, you feel like I know everybody. Like I feel like I've known these people, and I never knew them. So you're right. We all got together and just automatically clicked, and clicked in humor and joy, and also I think we all at this beautiful level in our careers where we are still very much able to appreciate where we are. You know, and I think they chose us all kind of in similar stages. And that helps to keep that gratefulness alive amongst all of us. And so we just enjoy each other. It really is fun being opposite Austin or Caleb or Lala or any of them at any time. From the guest stars to the series regulars, it's always fun.
What you just said about gratitude, of like living on a set that has gratitude for what it is we're doing together, and being able to be this troupe of actors, reminds me of Rocky Carroll. I remember when I must have been like his fourth or fifth season, right when he came on the show, and he'd been on for probably 6-7 episodes, and we were sitting around together, and he just kind of goes, "This is pretty great," and I said, "Yeah," and he goes, and he looks around, and he actually says it out. He goes, "No one wants to do something stupid like go be a movie star, right?" And I was like, "No, I think everyone's here is pretty good." He's like, "All right, well, let's keep this thing going, and nobody get a big head. Let's just keep this thing rolling." Like, because it's that thing of we can all move on and do something different and whatnot, but like when you find a group, and you find your clan, your group, your people, it's like, why wouldn't we just? Why
wouldn't we just make this thing live? Let's let it breathe.
And do what we can to make this thing new each week and challenge ourselves. Yes.
I think that's beautiful. And I really do believe that we all understand that without ever saying it to one another. One time, Marielle, who plays Lala, and I were talking, and I said, sometimes I just, I walk around the lot when I get released, and I just am like looking like, wow, check this out. Sunset Boulevard was shot here, because I love all the classics. And she's like, I do that too. And we just laughed that, you don't tell anybody that because it's kind of corny. But at the same time, you're just like,
meanwhile, you're bumping into each other, looking at the water tower, like, yeah, there it is again. Look at Paramount.
It's very true. You really, we have I always say this, Gina and David did a wonderful job, the showrunners, of picking a group of people who really I believe, reflect their energy
Mm-hmm.
and then bring to the table their own. And it's
Mm-hmm.
made a beautiful family. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that. Gina Monreal and David North are two of the on the Mount Rushmore of NCIS writers. They're two of the four, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, the two of us are jealous because we love their writing. We'd love to have them obviously working on our show. We're a little jealous of you.
How many years you get? 20 with them?
Yeah, exactly.
No, not me.
We got a lot of episodes that were absolutely beautiful from both of them.
Yeah, we did.
But tell us what it's like. Can you tell the difference between their storytelling styles, or are they kind of operating as a unit? And what has their leadership been like on that show? Because I mean, between the two of them, they must have, I don't know, 24 years experience on our show.
2,400 years.
Yeah, I mean, like if you combine them both. But what has their leadership been like on this show? You said that it's been wonderful, but like what about it? Like what tone has been set by them?
I do feel that I can tell when Gina has written something.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about how quickly it feels like you get it. You read it and you already memorized it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's something
where it feels like it's just something. Of course, my character would say that.
Of course, you would say that, and therefore I don't even have to think
Yes.
about it. It's very easy.
Yeah.
And her and David work together that way so that you feel that you're like, this seems so clean. I feel this is Gina and these two wrote this, or they tweaked this. I feel it.
Sure.
Yes.
And their leadership is so not heavy-handed in any way. It's almost like you want to say, what leadership?
Yeah.
We're just having a good time. That's how you feel trusted.
Yeah.
For
So
the best
you feel
word.
like they're creating the space and letting you guys just create within this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
They play. And I can use myself as an example of not really trusting that for a moment, right? Where you find something and you want to say something, but and you and I talked about this, where you've been a part of this industry and you've shown up, hit your mark, say the lines, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so even though from the very start they were like, these are your characters, that you guys own them. Mark Harmon the same way, like these are yours.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear that, but do you hear that? Right.
Right.
And so I heard it, but I don't know that I really embraced it. So that when I did run across something that I was like, I really want to talk about that, I didn't know that I could literally just call David and say, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
And then sitting and talking to him, he was like, yeah, anytime you need to do, you want to talk about something, just call. And then I heard it. I told myself, like, don't make a monster out of something that you can just go and talk about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love breathing that feeling in, because you bring with you to the next job the rules that you learned from the previous job.
Right. Yes.
And so you want to make sure you learn those rules and you do what you're supposed to do. And you're an actor, stay actor-ish.
Right.
We didn't hire you as a writer. Did you realize that? And so you want to remember that. You want to do that. But it's a wonderful thing when someone says, no, we didn't hire you as that, but we're open to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then to talk about something and have them hear you.
Yeah.
Feels really good.
But what caused that change for you? What made you say, I can sort of relax into this? What changed inside of you?
Actually having the conversation, sitting across from David and him saying, how are things going?
Mm-hmm.
And, if you have anything you feel, you're okay. And when you sit in their office and you're like, oh God, I'm called to the principal office. What's going on? I'm in trouble. What did I do? Did I do it yesterday? Did I do it last week? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're really just having a good conversation with somebody that's like, yeah, so how are you feeling? And we discussed episode 7, which was a really beautiful episode that highlighted Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to sit and talk about that.
Yeah.
And reflect on like how he feels about the character and the fact that they are so enjoying Origins, meaning him and Gina, and creating that process, and walking out of there like, you just need to relax.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild when you're talking to a creator of a show like that, and you realize like oh, we're all just rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not to say, oh, he or she is my complete contemporary, but like, we're all doing this together.
Right.
Like there's a creative freedom there where you go, yeah, I mean, I might mess up here or there or whatever, but we're all doing our best to try and create this vision together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you have that realization that literally nobody is here wanting to see you fail.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like anyone did, but sometimes you just have to say that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a mind like mine, where you're always trying to make sure you do your part as best you can.
Yeah.
And support everyone you're with so that they know that you are there and present and you're their teammate.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I was really digging into that moment because I had that moment on a David North episode. That's why I was like, oh, what was the moment for you? Because when Institutionalized was a big Casey episode, and I was trying to do the thing. I was trying to be an actor. I was trying to get the feelings going. And you know, when you want the big emotional scene and it's not coming, his eyes are as dry as the Sahara. You chug some water, nothing's happening. And it was Dave.
Sad memories.
Yeah, sad memories. Oh gosh, gosh. Somebody in third grade kicked me. And it was David who was like, hey man, he was just like, it's good. And he let it be, this really small, really intimate moment. And it really meant so much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it does.
Yeah.
Just let it exist, basically.
Yeah, basically just let it exist.
And even with Gina, I remember one time I was I was like, I don't know. I really want to talk to them about what I see in this with Mary Jo. And I stressed over like probably 3 days beforehand. And then we got to the table reading. I was like, okay, read it perfectly and then ask, can you speak to her after? And so she was like, yeah, sure. And we stepped out in the hallway and we talked for 2 seconds. And she was like, I hear you. I got it. I hear you.
Yeah.
And we both teared up. And I'm like, I said, I'm sorry for being emotional, but I just stress so hard before I come and talk to someone about something that I don't want. I don't want to be a critic.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
And so before I come and say, is there any wiggle room for this, that, or other? I totally was stressing myself out.
Yeah.
And so it's just knowing that I did that to myself. That's what I mean by you build a monster, you feed it and feed it and feed it, and you stress out. And then you say, and the person goes, I hear you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got that.
Also, you're a playwright with respect for the word here. And so is Gina. You know, Gina's a playwright.
I do know.
And I mean, she was hired. Gary Glassberg hired her on our show, and I don't know that she'd written on television prior to this, but she's like, she's a really talented playwright, and Mark loved her from the jump, you know, just thought she was the best. And she just learned how to do it, you know, how to translate those skills to that. But I can totally see the both of you being two playwrights talking to one another, you saying, I assure you I have respect for this thing.
Absolutely.
You know, and her saying like, I have respect for your thing, you know, which is to say we're all moving that way.
We're all moving that way. And I think that you can't really convince someone of that. You just have to have the moment where you go, breathe, just breathe it in. It's okay. You know, you don't have to be on guard. Just breathe. And you literally just have to experience that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to NCIS Origins, you had another TV family on The Chi, right?
Yes.
So tell me how those two experiences have been similar, but maybe also how they've contrasted a little bit. Because I know you're from Chicago.
Yes.
I say I'm from Chicago. I'm really from the Northwest suburbs.
We know.
At least you admit it.
Hey, you know what? I got to say it out loud. You know, like, yes, I'm a Cubs fan, and a lot of my family's Sox fans, but yeah, I want to know kind of like what the differences are, but also what the similarities are. Was it like 5 or 6 years that you were on?
6 seasons I did on The Chi.
Okay.
And the difference is character or experience
I think maybe
altogether?
Experientially, because obviously the character is going to be vastly different, but like just like what the work environment was like, you know, and how those things have kind of helped you in your creative process then versus now, kind of how that progress has been.
Well, I will say a little bit about the character is that that was a mother and trying to raise some kids in a community that's not the greatest. And even that character I enjoyed because she was so relatable. Right. And I feel really blessed to get characters where, oh, this is such a relatable character to so many people.
Sure.
And that was enjoyable. The difference in the way each places ran is night and day. We had a great cast. Same thing, good group of people. We all had a ball together all the time. But it was it was not the same type of well-oiled machine.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there wasn't the ability to have that kind of creative conversation.
Yeah.
And so that made that too, you bring forward with you 6 seasons of learning how something works. Not bad in any way.
Right.
It's just it ran the way it ran. And
maybe a little more top down
absolutely,
as opposed to collaborative.
Oh yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Well, also, even though NCIS Origins, is a new show relatively, it still comes from, we have David, we have Diona, we have other crew members who had been on NCIS for so long. And sometimes when you're getting a show just running, we've talked to other guests who were there at the beginning of NCIS, and it's like, you were getting one act at a time,
right.
With the script. You didn't even get the full script. So sometimes when you're sort of building the plane, when you're flying it, there's not the ability to stop and, consult the map. Are we going the most efficient way?
Exactly. And you just learn to respect the process. But then when you do, for me, to be at NCIS Origin and see the world differently, because both of those opportunities were very 6 seasons on any show is a tremendous blessing.
It's huge.
We worked through the pandemic.
Yes.
We worked through 2 strikes. And to have work when many of my friends did not I can never turn my nose up at that or be ungrateful for that. You know what I'm saying? It really was important that that show kept running through those major obstacles. But then to into this world of network television versus cable, you learn so much to go from a regular recurring guest star, carrying the load of a series regular, because out of 10, I'd be doing 8,
right?
Or 9 episodes. To actually being a series regular is still a learning curve, a different machine. You're looked at differently as part of the storytelling,
right?
And so I learned such a great deal from working on The Chi, but it was like, oh, I graduated from high school and now I'm getting my PhD?
Yeah.
Really? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's not to throw shade. That's just the difference in the experience for me.
Yes.
Someone else may have had a totally different experience, but for me, it was like, wow, this is when you've been working towards the opportunity like this for a long time and you finally step into it, you really are like, okay, so this is how the other half lives.
Yeah.
And how was it to get to live my dream? Because I've always wanted to represent Detroit on the small screen. Casey's from New York. I wanted her to be from Detroit, but she's not.
We tried.
We tried. We tried. How was it to get to represent Chicago on the big?
I love it. People still today walk up and say, I miss you on The Chi.
Yeah.
I love The Chi fans.
Yeah.
I love The Chi story.
That's
and
great.
being from The Chi, from Chicago, which we do call The Chi, it just felt so good to be in my hometown doing a story about my hometown. Yeah. And what was even greater was I was playing a character, a lesbian character. So I had a wife on that show, which gave me the opportunity to, dissect a character that we don't really see, that's coming from the Midwest, living in an inner city. It's just her and her wife trying to get these kids up and going. That's usually you see lesbian couples, they're like well-to-do. They have all of their cool friends who are well-to-do.
The Subarus.
And they live in a very beige house with great floors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to just be like that, I thought that was a beautiful choice for Lena Waithe to create that character. And I was so proud to tell that story. And that was a lot of fun. So to answer your question, it's still great to have people walk up to me and be like, when you come back to the Chi?
Yeah.
And Chi fans are so different. They're the same because 23 years NCIS fans are, I'm sure, Chi fans as well.
Yeah.
But Shy fans will just walk right in between the conversation and be like, why you cheat on Dre?
They're about to jump into this conversation because we have some Shy fans right over here. They're waving. They're like, hey.
Wonderful. So Shy fans have no problem. Listen, I want to tell they love the show. They know all the characters.
Yeah.
They've been a part of all the seasons. And I love that.
Yeah. No
matter where I'm at,
yeah.
they show up.
I feel like Shy fans are not unlike Detroiters in the fact that when I go home, people are like, oh my gosh, Casey, now why did you tell that man? And I'm like, I didn't. They told me.
That's exactly what happens. Yes. And I love it. I don't care if it's an airport.
Yes.
Well, I love this story. My dog, Toby, that passed away in February, she was the only time she ever went to the bathroom on the aircraft. Mm-hmm. So I get off the airplane and I rush into that first bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to clean the bag out and I'm all like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. A girl comes out of the stall and she goes, you Nina. Nina.
Gosh.
She calls her mom and she's like, Mom, it's Nina. And I'm cleaning the bag and I'm like, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. But I love it because it reminds you of what you've contributed. Well, yes. Like you've been a part of something that people really take to heart and they really love. And I love being a part of something like that. And that's what the Shy is.
I think it's because you're grateful, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's that thing of I've never understood when someone comes up and says, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, I'm like, why are you apologizing?
Don't be sorry. Thank you.
You're the reason I have a job. And also
every time.
And also I've been able to entertain you. Like, what a gift. That's what I want to do as a performer, as an actor, as a writer, Yeah. So I love that you love that.
I do.
I love it's just it makes all the difference in the world. We were talking earlier about kind of moving from one project to the next, from the Shy to NCIS Origins. I'm curious if you have that if you see yourself moving on to another facet, which is maybe writing for television one day, like being, using your playwright skills, and obviously you're being mentored by a playwright right now, or she's the boss on the set. If you might be taking some cues from her and foraying into TV writing at some point.
Absolutely, that is also a dream of mine to have a created by.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yes, and what felt great from Mark Harmon, he's read my plays, and nice. It was lovely for him to be like, I'm waiting for more.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
great.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sean Harmon was the same way. He's like, Dad, she's a playwright. And he was like, let me read it.
Yeah.
So that felt really good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And so I watched what Gina and David do. And I felt that was my character in the Shy.
I know. I was going to say, yeah, that's the name on my beige Subaru. That's the license plate, the custom.
Right. But I love learning what they do, how they continue a story and how they're able to reach back and bring forward. And I studied that for myself so that when I say, is it okay that I shadow or be in the room with the writers, that it is a learning process that they're willing to be like, yeah, come on in. Yeah. Because I have been writing for a while and I do love storytelling and writing for TV is part of my future.
Yeah,
I know that.
It is.
Yeah. So, and to have two like major people as people to watch how they do it is great. So, yeah.
I would love to see your name on an
I'm
episode
ready.
of NCIS
You
Origins.
I'm ready.
I think that would be fantastic and what great people to learn from. Writing for TV has helped me be a better actor for sure.
Absolutely.
Like it's just, the same thing, that as a playwright, it makes you dissect and also makes you get down to the basics of what scene structure is and what your objective is as an actor and to stop maybe over-analyzing and go, the words are there. Let those words guide you. And I don't know. I've absolutely loved it.
And
I'm the
love
opposite.
I'm sorry.
I'm the opposite. I don't think that it's
made you a worse actor?
Yeah, it's made me a worse actor.
Okay.
No, I think acting has made me a better writer. I think acting has influenced me so much because I'm able to bring my acting perspective and from looking at an objective into my writing, as opposed to sort of like my earlier writing, which is pretty meandery. But a lot of stuff is.
Well, I think that even as actors, we often say we love an actor-director because there's something about once you've done it, you kind of see it and you know what actors are going through. Yeah. And I feel that as a writer. I when I'm creating a character, as the actor, I know what a person wants when you're creating. They really want to live this character, like give them something to work with. Yes. What I'm learning about television writing is how to, in one scene, really hit the marks of what's necessary. Right. Versus, say, theater, you get this opportunity to say much more. But in television writing, you're learning to just really reduce it to what is important, but let it have those 3 beats just in one scene. That one scene of coming in and just saying, "Are you ready to go?" Yeah, still has 3 beats in it. Right. And learning how to put that, being able to write that so that actor can see it and do it. Yes, is great. Yes. And being, like I said, Gina and David are, where you read it and you go, "Oh, this is so easy to memorize. Like, I don't even have to think about this. Yeah. I got these words."
Well, in a play, a scene might literally be, 20 pages or more. In a TV show, a scene is 3. And we're like, "Wow, what a long scene."
And that is a great reduction that you have to learn how to do. Yes. Less is really more. Yeah. So you get to the words that matter. You chop off all of that excess, and you still tell an entire story for several characters. Even in a play, you're doing maybe 3, 6, 9 if it's a big play. Right. And in this, you've got guest stars coming in and a day player.
And you're solving a crime. You're moving the thing forward at a good pace, and you're respecting the characters that have been established for the last couple of years, right? So there are so many, really, I's to dot and T's to cross within this much dialogue, and that's it. Yeah.
And in that much time that it all has to be done. Get it in that hour.
Yes. You know? The advertisers need, an hour, 42 minutes actually of runtime.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. We got to sell some soap as well.
It's definitely a different skill set, which I look forward to being created by and episode written by.
Heck yes.
So I'm excited by that.
We have, I have one more question a little bit, because I would love to talk about your acting influence, because I love stuff like this. I hear that your sisters influence you a lot.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. My oldest sister, I have 2 older sisters. I'm the baby. Yes. I make sure I let them remember that. Yes. I don't care how old we get. Yeah. I'm still younger than you. Right. So my oldest sister, her name is Charlene. And because she had the task of keeping up with me as a kid, she would give me her books to read if she would. And when she was in high school, I was, a kid, not even in grammar school. So in order to, you sit down a kid, you give them the books to read, and she would say, you can act it out or do a book report. Oh. And so I would get to reading whatever she was reading. Right. And even though I didn't understand the depth of what I was reading, they were great stories. So reading A Raisin in the Sun, which is my favorite play ever written and influenced A Raisin in the Sun. And influenced Relentless. Yeah. Okay. Or Night. The Fire. And I don't know if you know about Night. It's about a Jewish person in the camp. Yeah. Or The Fire Next Time. And Othello, like we talked about that. Yes. So it was always write it, a book report, or act it out. And so I became this storyteller. And whenever I would tell her the stories, they would have you would think that it was a movie. And sometimes it was a book. Yeah. And she was such a great influence on me to do that. And then to be an audience for me. Because there were many family members who would be like, girl, sit down. Yeah. Or she talks so much, And although people always think this is a cruel thing, I think it's funny. My father sometimes would say, stop acting like a cartoon, because I was so busy. Yes. So I love that she gave me audience.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. So she was a great influence on me, realizing the importance of literature. Yeah. The importance of reading. Yes. And without knowing, she was like watering my creative mind, And this day, she's blind now. She went blind. She was born blind. So it's nice that she was able to see me perform and experience that, because now on this show she can't, she watches, she listens,
she hears it,
but she can't see it. And my mother was a great lover of procedurals, and I think she watched every cop drama that was ever created. And she would have loved to know that I was on NCIS.
Oh, she
loved
absolutely
it.
Loved that.
And she passed away. Yeah, but she was a great influence. My sister was a really big influence on me.
I'm wondering if that show that you end up creating will be an adaptation of a book, because you have so many literature loves, so many things that have influenced you. That might be a very cool. You're first created by. And notice I say first and not you're created by. I'm like first of many.
I love that. I'll receive that. And I definitely want to turn Relentless into a series. And I was kind of, I'm going to admit some jealousy here. I'm going to just admit it.
Okay. Good.
So when Relentless happened, because it was slated to go on stage in 2019, because it was a 100-year reflection.
Oh, right.
But then we went into the pandemic because it was going at the end of the year in December. So in March, we shut down. And so they had to postpone my play. And when my play did come out, everybody started doing the, Bridgerton, and everybody had a story that was based in the period. So I was just like, I don't appreciate that. Nobody was talking about it before me.
So what we're saying is ahead of your time.
Yeah,
I was ahead of my time, and the pandemic got in the way.
Yeah.
So I look forward to making that a series.
The only thing that can stop Tyla is a worldwide pandemic.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Nothing else.
You know the funny thing about actors? We're so sometimes like into ourselves. She said, I'll admit a bit of jealousy. I was like, okay.
I saw you do a little hair flip.
I know. I was like, what did I do?
Go on if you must.
Never wrote a play in my life. Not one time. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Anyway, let's move on to Probie questions.
Yes, please.
So each week when we announce a guest somewhere on social media, and we get questions from our Probies. That's what we call our fan base for all of the NCIS first. So they had some questions for you.
Ooh, let me drink some water.
Ooh, that's fine.
All right, here we go. I got a good one here.
Yes.
And this, this may not be for you as an actor, but I think for you as a storyteller, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Will Mary Jo be integrated into the current NCIS mothership at any point? Could you ever see that happening?
I could see that happening. I thought about this. I thought about Rocky Carroll.
Rocky.
Having somehow, Mary Jo is related in some way where...
Oh, yeah.
Where, somebody says to me at some point, what's your uncle name? And I say my character, his name, and you know that he's in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that I talk about him at some point. Because, he's got the age on him that he could be related to me.
Yeah, a contemporary potentially.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or Casey could be related to Mary Jo.
Yeah.
Casey, I was like, maybe Casey's dad knew Mary Jo, and that's why he encouraged her.
Before I got divorced in NCI Origin, I was like, okay. So, Gina and David are so funny. I was like, I don't want a husband. I don't want a husband.
Same.
Well, because let me tell you why.
Yes.
I thought the minute this always happens, the minute a woman gets a husband, all her conversation is about her husband.
Or she's dead.
I gotta go home. Fred. I gotta cook Fred dinner.
Yep.
Fred didn't buy me nothing for my anniversary.
Yep.
Fred.
Yep.
So I was like, I don't want a husband.
Yep. Yeah, or she's dead. Like, seriously, being a wife on a procedural is the terrible life insurance
you don't
policy.
want it. I love Mary Jo's power. So I was like, I don't want a husband. And they were like, okay, but how about a divorce? And I said, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I can be divorced. So I think that's great that somehow, we talk about a niece that hits the future. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
And somehow we meet your
cool.
parents.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. One of them, yeah.
One of your parents or something like that.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I feel like they can make that happen somehow. It's a flashback thing.
How many names can we get on a script? How many names does WJ?
I mean, at least 3.
I think so. I think so.
Story by and then shared writing credit.
Yeah. TBD.
Yeah.
Get it? TBD.
That's pretty good.
You just came up with that.
I did.
You did. I could tell.
Wait, I have a probie question.
Okay.
If you had a chance to play any other character from NCIS, who would it be and why? You did get to play one.
What other character did I
You went
get
at the reading.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I got to play Vance.
Yeah, you got to play Rocky.
So we did it. We did a table read, listeners and viewers, between the casts of NCIS Origins and NCIS, where we got together and for a bunch of service members on the 250th anniversary of the Navy,
It was great.
we read this old NCIS episode called The Devil's Triangle. And when we did so, all of us got to read different characters than what, some of us actually were in the episode.
Yeah.
And we just read different characters.
Yes.
And you read Vance.
I was Vance. I was the boss.
Yeah.
I was in charge.
You were great.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was such a fun,
can play that character.
live, live theater event that was really television.
It really was.
It was great.
But there's a part of me that's forever asking David and Gina, like, I want to be part of a caper, of which I say caper because I love everything.
Caper.
I love caper. I love all the old movies. My favorite, Maltese Falcon.
David and Gina, I want to be part of the caper.
I want to be part of a caper, see?
They laugh at me because I say caper. I just love that. I love watching all the old movies from back in the day.
Now I'm picturing, Mary Jo with the Tommy gun. Like
Now me screaming. I was absolutely.
Where's the who's guy?
Yeah. Come on with your hands up.
Come with your hands up, see?
You'll never take me alive, copper.
Anyhow, we're going from the 1992 back to 1922.
We're jumping around.
We're like, it's always been there. No, I wanted to be I would love to be somehow like Frank's.
Oh, yeah. Frank.
Just
right in
show.
there and chasing someone down.
Yeah.
I like that whole idea for a minute. Even in the episode 4 of season 1, when I was the guy breaks into my house, he wants to get the little girl, and I get to hold the knife, and I just knew they were going to have me like be pushed up against a wall, and I had to fight the guy back. I was all ready for that, and they're like, "No, you're just holding the knife," and I was like, I thought I had one fight.
I got it in me.
I don't know why I want to. I want to.
Well, it's
I want
because
to wrestle somebody.
You're seeing all these.
You do want to be Vance. Tell them that you love boxing. Maybe you guys met in boxing.
That's my favorite sport, believe it or not.
That's Vance's favorite sport.
Get out.
Yeah.
I
he
even
works his
took
thoughts
boxing.
out on the heavy bag.
Yeah.
I took boxing and I got in the ring. The coach was convinced that he's like, you're a strong girl, and he kept saying, keep your dukes up. And I was like, keep my dukes up. And I wouldn't. And eventually he took those, the gloves that they have you hitting.
Yeah.
And he was like, pow, 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 pow. And I just stood there like, what the heck just happened? And he's like, are you okay? I said, yeah. And he's like, keep your dukes up. I'm like, okay. So now I'm here. And he just went to my sides the whole time. Yeah, he taught me that I didn't really want to be a boxer.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You didn't.
I got over that real quick.
You know what? I got a Layla Ali hairdryer you can borrow. That's the closest I
That's
got
all
to
I
boxing.
need. That's all I need. That's what I mean. I just wanted to wrestle somebody once or twice, and then I'm fine putting back on my skirt and my nails and being like, hey.
You say, hey, Austin, Kyle, I got it this week. You guys take a rest. I'm gonna go out there and throw down with some bad guys.
I'm gonna take someone down.
Yeah.
Hold my gun high. God.
That's a crazy way to hold a Tommy gun. You got to support the
guy.
I
got it. Like Mary Jo, you're gonna kill everyone.
Well,
so the first episode she writes is called "A Caper for Mary Jo."
I love it. I love that. Oh my God, that would be great. That would be great for me. So
this has been great.
This has been great. I hate things that only last an hour. I always want them to go on longer. That just says I talk too much.
You have her snorting now. She doesn't snort usually. And then now it's happening.
Look at what I've achieved.
Look at what you've done.
You all see what I've achieved?
Oh, goodness.
Now, the next person, top that.
Yeah. Hey, I did the Partners Probies thing. Did you get Diona to snort?
Did she snort?
I did.
Oh, well, she only half liked you. I'm just saying.
I'm just
saying.
The bar has been set. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful.
This has been lovely.
I am looking forward to more. I love it when she can't get anything out.
I'm so genuinely sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Your laugh is infectious. It makes us all laugh.
It's fantastic.
So keep it going.
I am looking forward to much more Mary Jo. I'm looking forward to seeing your play mounted here, which would be fantastic. And I cannot wait to see written by Tyla Abercrumbie
oh my God.
on that television screen, be it in NCIS Origins or on your own show. I expect to see it sometime pretty soon.
Yeah, I got it in my calendar.
I'm excited.
I'm there.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful.
Follow and listen to NCIS Partners and Probies on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.